if you're going to say anything embarrassing, now's the time to do so.
No, I'm good. I see the little live in the corner.
You got it out of your system now?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right. We're not going to talk about any of that on the air?
No, let's not.
Okay.
No,
that's probably good, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. Thanks for streaming us here on The Low Blow. I am Mo. He is Ballz. And wait, you're on time this week.
I am.
Well, you got to be somewhere, or you got to do something.
We got to wrap this up. I got plans.
And that's about all the time we have for today. Thanks a lot, guys.
I'm out, guys.
Wonder if Facebook runs into that issue, or YouTube or Twitch or any of these streaming sites. If they put all this work into the coding and the processing for somebody to be done 45 seconds later, I'm out, guys.
I'm out.
There's got to be a short-term streamer out there.
Thanks for checking out my stream.
Yeah. And then probably more popular than us, too.
It's not hard.
That is very true. That is very true. Those of you who want wrestling talk, but don't want to pay attention, that's what the low blow is for. Because people want wrestling talk from table talk.
Yes.
But Devon's like, I don't want to talk about that too much. But it's nice to see that yesterday's show with Matt Hardy get a little bit of traction. Not because of Matt Hardy, but because Devon finally talked about his health issues.
I saw that.
And, I'm saying it now. He's denying it, but I'm saying it now. He's going to be in next year's Rumble.
I knew what it was like to feel like an insider for a little bit. Just like I knew stuff I couldn't talk about.
And there's still stuff that we know that we can't really talk about, but there's definitely a benefit to having inside scoop, inside
sources. But now anytime we claim sources, people are just going to assume it's Devon.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's why I want to start making up rumors. Nothing to get him fired or anything, but just, I
mean, we used to talk about sources all the time, but we didn't actually have sources. It was just...
No, our sources were the same as everybody else's sources. Yeah. In our brains.
Yeah. Stuff I make up.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, this sounds good. And if it happens to be true, you heard it from me.
You heard it from me first.
Your comments, your reactions, very much welcome. If you watch the Royal Rumble, that's where we're starting today.
Yeah, we are.
A recap of what's going on, and then Ball's going to give us 6 things on his mind.
Yeah, like wrestling things, mostly, because you don't want to know what's up here. It's not okay.
Hey, girl, hey. Yeah. So say hi, interact with us. What did you think of the Rumble overall? If you had to give us 6 lightning bolts, what would you give?
Out of the 6 lightning bolt scale, let's go 4. It was good.
Okay. All right.
Good.
That's fair.
There were definitely things that I was not a fan of. Are you talking the Rumble in general or the pay-per-view overall?
The pay-per-view overall.
Yeah, I'd say about 4. Yeah.
Okay. I'd say, I think that's pretty fair. I want to say 4.5 because it's the Rumble and I really like it, but the non-Rumble matches. No guess the groin today. I'm sorry, Nathan.
No, not
this time. Not this time. Normally, I gotta surprise him with that, spring it on him, and he has no idea.
That's true.
Yeah, and I didn't have enough time today to do anything like that. I got home like an hour before the show started. That was it.
That's why the 6 things are on my mind. Like, I actually had to contribute to the show this time. Like,
yeah.
It's been months since I've had to actually prep for something.
For the first time in 2021.
Exactly.
Ballz is bringing something to the table.
Ballz did show prep.
So we'll just dive into the actual pay-per-view itself. We won't worry about the pre-show or anything like that. Drew McIntyre and Goldberg, at least they got our first big bit of nervousness out of the way.
It's really bad when you get that anxious over a WWE pay-per-view or match in general. You're like, please, no. Oh, thank God.
Well, I don't know if you were on Twitter, and I'm sure other socials had this too, but just seeing the feed update with, don't do it, WWE, don't do it, WWE, please, WWE, please, WWE, no, like just tweet after tweet with a few in there saying, come on, Goldberg. I unfollowed those people.
And you never know if the come on Goldbergs are sarcastic or actual Goldberg fans.
Yeah, worst match Goldberg. I'm not quite sure what the brand Reigns means, but That's one of those. Anytime Goldberg wrestles now, it's one of those matches where who cares about finishers? It doesn't. They don't do anything at this point. Like one spear can take out a normal guy on a Monday or a Friday.
Yes.
But on a Sunday, they ate well. They slept in a little bit more, maybe.
No, they had their Wheaties. Yeah, no, they were good to go.
Okay, he meant Goldberg and McIntyre. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, that was. If you have Goldberg in the match, that's already in the running for worst match of the night before it even happened.
No matter what even happens during it, yeah.
And that's always been the case. Goldberg's not a guy that you put in to wrestle. I mean, that's just
okay. But let's look at something a little bit for this match. Why even bring Goldberg back at all? Like, if this is what it wasn't the longest match. It wasn't great. Does Goldberg really notch Drew McIntyre's belt that much that it was worth bringing him back for all this stuff to have Drew McIntyre win?
I'm curious if it was just in the contract, because when he signed that contract a year or two ago, whenever that was, there were supposedly like 4 matches that he agreed to. Maybe it expires this summer, and they're like, "Oh, we should probably use that."
Yeah, like we have to figure out a way to get that. Man, I don't know that they pay that attention to contracts. Like,
if it's Bill Goldberg,
right.
because he'll make sure he gets paid regardless.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. That's true.
So that was just a mess of a match, as we knew it would be. It was just the outcome. Would WWE do that to us? Like, hey, it's a new year. We're optimistic. The pandemic will hopefully fade away. Here's a shot to the nuts.
Here's a spear jackhammer to your junk.
You want Drew McIntyre as champion? Well, too bad. Here's Goldberg again. Yeah, but it didn't happen.
No.
So that was the first of our stress and anxiety being relieved.
Yes.
Still kind of worried about that men's Royal Rumble, though.
No, because exactly what we said. If he loses this, there's always the chance he's number 30.
But does that count as another match?
Yeah.
And then WWE's like, oh, crap. Oh, man. Now we have to pay him more. He's already done his 4 now or whatever. I don't know. But Sasha and Carmella, fine match for what it was. But I think the last pay-per-view match they had was 5 times better than this one.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Right back at you, Donnie.
Well, I don't understand why no one says hi to me besides Laura.
Well, this also, I mean, this feeds on my page as well. This feed's not on your page, or you'd probably have like Uncle Ballz, hi, you know.
It's accurate. Yeah.
Anything about Sasha and Carmella that you want to add?
mean, you're right. I just feel the last match they had was better.
Yeah. It is what it is. Although it was pointed out to me, and I wouldn't even noticed that I believe what was it? LV. So it was Louis Vuitton, that Sasha Banks was wearing Louis Vuitton wrestling attire. So I'm like, okay, well that's legit. That is legit for the legit boss. Wait. Hey,
Donnie.
And look.
Hi, Michelle.
Michelle's actually the one that pointed out to me it was Louis Vuitton. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have noticed.
No, I didn't notice now. So,
and then she was making fun of Carmella's outfit. Say, oh yeah, here's Sasha with her Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
And then here's Carmella looking like a stripper with some sequins on it.
Yeah, like if one of them should have had Louis Vuitton, it should have been Carmella.
Like, you think? Yeah. Or Jimmy Choo. Yeah.
Woo!
If you say that out loud, Laura, it sounds awkward. Watch who's around. Yeah.
Like, no, it has a Z on it. It's fine.
Yeah. Casimir, we had him predict last week along with us and everybody else, saying Drew versus Undertaker next year. Man, he really wants the Undertaker to come back.
He does. I firmly believe that they will not pull that trigger already after giving him such a send-off. Yeah. I could be very wrong, but I feel like they're not going to do that to us right away.
If the roster succumbs to the Rona, then
that's true. And I always feel like the Undertaker is in case of fire, break glass.
Yeah.
Where like, oh man, we need Taker. And he just pops out and shows up.
Right. But I don't think we're there yet.
No, I don't think we're there yet.
I agree with you there. 30 Women Rumble was up next. That, of course, won by Bianca Belair, which you and I both called that one. A lot of people were calling that one. Not disappointed with that one.
No. If you would have told me the final two would have been Bianca and Rhea Ripley, I would have laughed at you.
Like, shut up.
Right? But no, that was fantastic. And
like, by Rhea Ripley, did you mean Charlotte?
Exactly. Like, you sure?
I mean, it was close. She was nearly in the last two.
She was 3, but yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff there. Among the returns or the notable moments in the match, obviously we had a bit of comedy with R-Truth.
Yes.
Running out, which if you didn't have the volume on or you weren't paying attention, he was about to leave thinking, oh, sorry, wrong Rumble.
Yeah.
He was confused.
Yes.
And then, of course, the people chased him out. Alicia Fox, who was a surprise in itself. She became the champion for 2 minutes and 40-some seconds, I believe.
It's still longer than like Drew Gulak and Akira Tozawa have held it sometimes.
When they just do all the roll-ups. Yeah, like they were making fun of her for that reign, but I'm like, do you not watch your own show on Mondays?
Yeah, I'm like, you should probably go through your records because I'm pretty sure that's at least like top 20 at this point.
I do that all the time. So anyway, Alicia was one of the surprises. Naomi came out, number 2?
Can we, I think we've hit the limit on, my feet haven't touched the ground yet. Like, her stuff used to be entertaining. Now it's, I've landed on my back like a turtle. I'm not out yet.
And like, I know a lot of them feel pressure to do it.
Yeah.
Even on Table Talk, I was mentioning that to Kofi months ago and kind of asking about that. And he said, well, I don't go out and really try to think, how am I going to top it?
Yeah.
But I kind of put myself in the spot.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's what happened with Naomi now, that she kind of wants to be that person too. But
I think she is that. Is on the women's roster. She is that person you expect to find a creative way to get back in. And
I mean, it was a nice moment, her and Bianca working together to not be eliminated. We don't see that often.
No. Like,
I was really expecting somebody to turn on the other somebody there.
The aspect of her getting back in was entertaining. It was just when she landed on the ground, I was like, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's not even
actually. I think it works to Kofi's benefit not being in the Rumble this year.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Yeah, so if he comes back, maybe there's no expectations, or maybe he's like, I'm done with the Rumble now at this point.
I'm good.
I had my time. Ali top that.
Right.
Billie Kay, not a surprise, but I do appreciate her trying to form partnerships.
Yes. Oh, no, it was great. And I like how she gave up, like, literally right before Peyton Royce showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And Jillian Hall was a shocker that I did not call at all.
It's a little disappointing she didn't have that growth on her face.
That's the Boogeyman bit it off. That stuff doesn't grow.
I still want Boogeyman to put it back. Regurgitate.
And then he'd be like, is he in the Rumble? Why is Boogeyman even here?
Why is there not a Boogie Woman? WWE, you can have that one.
2021. Year of the Boogie Woman.
The Boogie Woman. But yes, Jillian Hall coming out singing and then actually agreeing to partner, so to speak, with Billie Kay until they had the Ruby Riott and the Riot Squad. So Billie Kay didn't know what to do, and then Peyton Royce comes out, doesn't know what to do. I'm like, that was brilliant.
Yeah, that was good. No, totally.
Shotzi Blackheart, NXT representative, coming out in her tank, I thought was great. She got to look good. She didn't dominate, but she got to hang out for a little bit.
Got to hang out for a little bit.
Which, by the way, the ring never cleared. Like we were talking about, we didn't quite know in the age of Rona how many people they had. They tried to cram as many in.
No, they did. Definitely.
How dare you? Is she called Boogie Woman? No. The hell's wrong with you, Nathan?
I do appreciate what Nathan's saying, though.
Yeah, I appreciate him shutting up.
Oh, good.
Actually, no. I mean, I like it when everybody interacts, but there's no Boogie Woman. All right, and don't you dare do that, or Ballz might have to upgrade to an actual beer.
It's true.
He's drinking fake beer. The big one that got the biggest pop out of me, out of the women's Rumble, Victoria. Seeing Victoria after all these years back in a WWE ring.
You just hear so much crap about, because for some reason, whenever Victoria's at an event or something, it makes news, and you're like, Victoria wasn't allowed backstage. She tried to get, And you wonder, like, what the issue was. Victoria Wilson, that era is always welcome back. Victoria wasn't. This was great, I thought. Victoria, she was a surprise. She looked great. She did well. She got to Widow's Peak someone. It was great.
Yeah. I did think it was a little weird that she kind of did the I've lost my mind, little like Victoria like creepiness that she did, but it wasn't that same song. It wasn't the tattoo song.
It wasn't tattoo, no.
So it was a little off, but hey, I love seeing her back. I've worked with her on some panels before, virtually and in person, and the question always comes up, why haven't you been brought back? And her answer always was, they never called me.
Yeah, right.
So finally somebody called her.
Right, exactly. They found her number.
So I thought that was great. I love that a lot of the people that, I don't know, I wouldn't say blacklisted, but there's some stars at WWE, Melina and Victoria, a lot of these from that era, they wanted nothing to do with again for some reason.
Yeah.
They've all been brought back, at least on the female side, I believe.
Yeah.
I can't think of one that hasn't.
I mean,
of notable value.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm not talking like Amy Weber or anything like that.
You heard it here first, Amy Weber.
I mean, Layla, maybe, but even then, I think she'd probably be willing to come back if they could do a Lay Cool reunion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know, but
did Layla came back last Rumble, didn't she?
Layla L?
Yeah, the one from Lay Cool. Yes.
Did she? Tells you how memorable that was then. Somebody look that up for us. I'm too lazy, and Ballz is had to create a list today, so he's tapped out.
A certain amount of show prep.
Yeah, he's tapped out.
We hit this level, and I'm like, ooh.
He'll have to put on the glasses, the special glasses he has. We don't want that.
No, I watched a Rumble. I watched wrestling this week. I made a list. This is all you're getting.
Yeah, he did put on pants, so don't worry. He's not completely out of his mind.
Yeah, right.
We talked about Tori. She's there. She's not even a surprise anymore. Might as well just put her on the damn thing.
On the active roster, she's fine.
Casimir says you're wrong and quit lying to people.
Okay, I swear I remember her doing something.
That was a dream you had.
It's also popping. Very possible.
Nathan also saying that you're a lying son of a bitch.
I appreciate that they're saying it nicer than you are.
No, I'm reading between the lines. I spit it real. This MFer spitting right here.
Spitting real.
Yeah.
Ooh, man.
That's what I'm doing.
Doesn't quite hit that hard when you're 40, does it? Doesn't.
What's that? I can't hear you. I'm 40.
Yeah.
And then not really a huge shock or anything, but Lana coming back. Yeah. I kind of figured she would. And I love that she eliminated Nia. That's all that needed to be done.
That's all the comeuppance that had to happen.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
Yeah. That's all that was needed. She didn't need to win the whole thing, although if she would have, I would have laughed my ass off. The whole internet would have been furious, and then I would have laughed even harder.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens was up next, which of course Roman retains.
He did. There were some brutal things in this match. It was good. Kevin Owens driving a forklift. Not really driving. It didn't go anywhere, but he operated a forklift.
Right. I hope we have a license for that.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I had to have one to run a forklift. I don't know. He better have one.
Yeah.
That's an OSHA.
He's going to be suspended on SmackDown this week because he didn't have a license for it.
No OSHA violations for SmackDown.
The head of the table needs to watch, make sure it's a good table,
Yeah. But him doing that dive off there, I think as good as it was, everyone's going to remember the ref randomly stopping
the flub.
A 10 count, mid 10 count, because Owens would have won. And you always hear refs are not supposed to stop. If something happens live, you deal with it the next day, you deal with it whenever, you restart the match, whatever happens.
But Roman.
Exactly. Yeah. Asterisk Roman. Yeah, no.
If Kevin Owens would have won on a fluke because Heyman could not undo the handcuff, the amount of people that would be in our talkback threads right now sticking it in our face because of an error. Oh my God, we'd never hear the end of it.
And they would never let us justify it that it was because of an error either.
Right. No, this was the plan the whole time.
It was Heyman was going to mess that up the whole time. No, dude just couldn't make a keyword.
You're dropping storyline hints right there, man. Heyman did that on purpose. It's a power struggle. Like, you would not let us forget this. Because Ballz and I went on the record last week and said there's no way in hell Owens is winning.
No way in hell. But man, 1, 2, 5. I'm going 6.
You're like,
why are you not counting anymore?
Chop. Come on. We've all been to Sesame Street. Know what's next.
Yeah. The Countess told me 7 is next. Come on, man. Right? It was good, though. I enjoyed it. But, I mean, there were definitely like, how do we top every spot we do, right?
It was better than most last man standing matches, but I didn't find myself sucked into it as much as others did. I can't get into last man standing matches. Just some of the dumbest things that keep people down for 9 seconds and otherwise on a Monday or Friday night wouldn't.
Right? Like, my favorite is Owens rolling off the stage at the 10 count, make himself vertical. I was like, Tommaso and Gargano did that first.
But it makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Makes sense. It's kind of like if anybody else steps away from an aerial move now, I'm like, oh, that's a Samoa Joe right there. Yeah.
Right.
Got to start somewhere. And then the last match on the Rumble was, of course, the 30-man men's Rumble. That was won by Edge. I have heard some complaints about it because Edge and Orton starting out, Edge going the distance, even though he just came back, and then Orton not being eliminated, making that surprise appearance at the end. That did take some people out of it, and I get that.
I knew it was going to happen. It didn't take me out of it, per se. Like, I still enjoyed it. I expected Orton to make that return, but Edge winning didn't bother me. I mean, there were other things in the Rumble that upset me more than this, although I'm super excited that Goldberg didn't come back.
Yes. Like, I think many of us were nervous come 28.
Yeah.
29. Right? And then 30, we're like, don't do it. Not realizing that WWE had confirmed more people ahead of the Rumble, one being Braun Strowman, and we hadn't seen him yet.
Yeah.
So when his music hits,
there was that second anxiety relief. You're like, oh, all right.
Okay, that's fine. Dolph Ziggler wins. I don't care. It's just not Goldberg.
Is Braun Strowman going to win this? Wait a minute. I don't want that either, man.
I mean, at that point, and this is crazy to say, if Orton would have won, I'm like, at least it's not Goldberg. I mean, Orton right now is actually like somehow at a peak. We thought he was ending his career, and and that happened. So it wasn't Goldberg, which is glorious. Edge won. Some people are going to dig that. Some people aren't. I'm okay with it.
I am more okay with it now. When he put an interview out recently, I think it was with CBS Sports, where he talked about, like, he didn't necessarily know this is what was going to happen. But he's here for it. He's like, I'm, Rumble winner going into WrestleMania. I'm here every week. Like, I'm not going to
full time. Yeah.
I'm a full-time competitor as of right now. Like, this is not me coming back and then eight weeks later coming back again.
Yeah.
He wants to make the commitment, and I'm like, all right, you won. I'm cool with that.
And we'll circle back around to Edge here in a moment. Go rewind a little bit, and this will be out of order just because people's comments coming in. But John wanting a bigger showing for Damian Priest in the Rumble, maybe a 2 or 3 spot.
I would argue he eliminated the most people in the Rumble. I would have to look that up, but I feel from my memory, he eliminated a crap ton of people as the only NXT star. It would have been cool to make it to, the final 2 or 3, but dude had a damn good showing.
I agree with you there. I don't know where he was numbers wise compared to others, but he did obviously have some big impact. He got huge praise from Kane afterwards, which is another surprise to talk about. But I think there's a technicality there. I think the men's Rumble did not include anybody from NXT because Damian Priest now on Raw. And think about it, nobody else was from NXT there. So I think WWE continued the whole NXT men are not allowed on WWE pay-per-views right now. I mean, he's moved up to Raw now.
He's on Raw now. I mean,
he's working with Good Goose or whatever that rapper's name is. I don't know. Is that Tupac?
Yes.
Okay.
Just to let you know. Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah. As a guy who wore his Wu-Tang shirt on yesterday's Table Talk podcast. Yeah. Wait, is that RZA? That sings about Booker T?
Pretty sure that was Inspector Deck.
And I got to say, when I first saw ODB wrestle, I did not realize that was the same as...
Especially since he's dead.
So they say. By the way, Castamere wants me to know it's Bad Bunny.
Not Bugs Bunny.
No. Although I wish it would have been Bugs Bunny.
That would
our truth in the pre-show saying Bugs Bunny being here was great.
That's a Space Jam 2 tie-in that we did not know we needed until now.
Maybe they're onto something. Maybe they do know something we don't know. They're planning ahead of all the advanced forward-thinking Space Jam.
It's Space Jam 2. That's what they're doing.
And John agrees with me here. Priest heading to the main roster. Technically not an NXT guy.
Yeah, I don't agree with John, though. That's the problem.
I'm reading between the lines here, John's statement, and there's a middle finger in there somewhere.
There was.
Yeah.
It's the dots right between the not an NXT.
Anyways, technically.
Not an NXT guy, yeah.
Yep. So Kane, we'll talk about that. Anytime he shows up to the Rumble, I welcome that. Yeah. I do think he should be the guy to hold that record.
Why?
Most Rumbles and most eliminations. Don't let anybody else touch that.
But he doesn't have most eliminations anymore, does he? I thought Roman did.
According to Cole during the Rumble, he still does.
Okay.
And then they gave him one elimination to kind of like keep it going, I guess.
Okay. And all right. Because when Kane came out and got eliminated as fast as Kane did, I was like, why are we even bringing Kane?
Because he's got to fly back to Town Tucky over there, wherever he
could leave Tennessee. He could have stayed there.
It's Town Tucky. I don't know where he mayors.
This is where someone else is going to chime in with the city name. Eliminated him, so
yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm fine with it. Kane could come back. Kane could be the Ric Flair of the Royal Rumble. He can keep coming back, get older and older, still be Kane.
There's like 37 dudes in the back wondering why they didn't get a spot in the Royal Rumble, but freaking Kane got brought in from Tennessee.
Okay, if you want to complain about that, complain about Goldberg coming back.
I do complain about Goldberg.
And complain about the WrestleMania returns, like all of those. Complain about those things. You can complain about Edge then.
Are you new? Like, I do complain about it. And I said,
Kane and the Rumble makes sense. Kane getting a main event spot at WrestleMania, I could see your beef. I mean, I don't see your beef, but I could see your beef.
But you could see it.
See? Knox County. Knoxville. I said Knoxville.
Yeah.
After I said Town Tucky.
Yeah. I thought it was Knoxville.
Yeah. Look at that. 18th in the 18th Rumble.
Until his 30th Rumble.
And then Nathan agrees with me too. I agree with Mo, middle finger to Ballz. I love seeing Kane in the Rumble every time.
Is there a wow, John?
Yeah.
Wow. On a scale of 6 middle fingers. That's
6 straight up for you, buddy. 6 straight up there.
No,
I love it just because Kane's not going to win, but he can still eliminate some people because he's the big red machine.
Yeah.
And then he leaves, he goes back to work. And let's be honest, the people he eliminates ain't going to win either.
Well, of course not. They got eliminated.
Well, yeah. I mean, and it's not like he accidentally tosses them, Kane just tosses Edge over the top rope, and WWE's like, oh, crap.
I think you got some Devon knowledge that I didn't know. Are you telling me this is planned?
I'm starting to think this might be fixed.
I'm starting to think the results are rigged.
So anyway, I liked it. The Hurricane coming out, even though he came out 3 years ago.
Yeah,
it wasn't as impactful, but it was an homage to his old, try to eliminate Stone Cold and Triple H.
So good
at the same time. Yeah. So always nice to see him.
And it was funny. He talked about in an interview, talking about how much fun it is to have the guys in the back see him in his Hurricane gear, because they see him as Shane Helms all the time, but he put the Hurricane gear on and they're all taking selfies and stuff because the Hurricane is childhood for some of these guys. And like at that part, that was the fun part of doing it. I was like, all right, that's fun.
Which we've talked about it before. We'll have to dust off the picture, but Ballz actually literally borrowed legit items from the Hurricane to cosplay as the Hurricane years back.
That was my first cosplay, is the Hurricane at Wizard World Chicago, like 2015.
Yeah, and you had his WCW Cruiserweight Championship.
Yes, so it was
literally his Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah, it was definitely his, and then his mask, and his cape, and then I wore my green Wrestling Audio T-shirt.
Yeah, but legit, people probably think we're making this up, but no, it's. I used to work on a radio station in the hometown of one of his best friends.
Yeah.
And once I said, my friend Ballz, big Hurricane fan. And we made it happen.
Because it's like the first time, because I remember super long ago, because it was like Twitter, and we put it on Twitter and Shane liked it. And he was overseas or something. And he was like, people are seeing me in Chicago. I was like, yes, this is the best.
That was good stuff. That was good stuff. Carlito coming back.
Oh, and dude looked in great shape.
Oh my God, yeah. And now he's on a 3-week trial run or something? Did you read those rumors?
No, but makes sense. MVP did it. Why not?
So MVP came back, was supposed to be the one-off, two-off appearance. He got that, supposed to have that match against Rey Mysterio for his son.
Yep.
For MVP's kid. And then that was it. He was going to, ride off into the sunset, but WWE's like, wait a minute, you're clicking with the audience.
You can talk.
So they kept him around. It's been amazing. He's doing a great job with the Hurt Business. So he actually suggested they bring Carlito in.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Carlito, who's in great shape and worked with Glow, the TV production and whatnot. So he looks like he's going to be around for a while. And what do you?
No, I was laughing because I did not know him from Glow because I have not watched it yet.
I know, because you're an ass like that. As John says, all the middle fingers to you.
Yeah.
So Carlito supposedly on a trial run to see if it works out. So far, so good. I mean, we're
going to host Carlito's Cabana. That's what I need to know.
That exactly. I'm like, okay, what happens when the MVP lounge, is supposed to be hosted, and then Carlito takes over because he wants to do the Cabana, and then Miz comes out from Miz TV.
Oh, and then Christian brings the Peep Show back. Yeah.
Then the Peep Show comes back, the Cutting Edge.
The Cutting Edge, yeah.
And then you can have Alexa Bliss's, playground or whatever the hell they call that.
Yeah. It's an entire Raw full of just talk segments of different talk shows.
And probably debut a new one too while they're at it.
Right? Yeah. I mean, there has to be someone backstage that could do that.
Almost with Omos. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
I appreciate your you trying, but please, if you spoke
WWE mold that to your liking.
If you spoke that into existence, I will drive to your hometown.
Yeah, maybe not almost with Omos, but Omos better get his own talk segment. I'm calling that now. By the end of February, Omos with him talk segment.
I will drive 8 hours to punch you in the face.
Come on. Speaking of being punched in the face, John said last year for his softball league wore his NWMO shirt. And this year thinks he'll pick up a Ballz shirt.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Which you only have one right now.
I do.
So we may need to change that.
We may need to get better Ballz shirts.
Which may just actually be this.
I'd buy that.
With your name, underneath it. Ballz, yeah.
In a green circle, just like how it is.
If anybody else wants a shirt with Ballz and a bunch of middle fingers, let us know. I can get that up on the store by Monday. I get that on Monday. And then the last big thing to talk about the Rumble would be Christian's return, which
crazy.
If you watch Table Talk this week, two guys that know him quite well, Matt Hardy and Devon, are both like, oh yeah, we would have never expected that to happen.
Right? Exactly. I'm shocked.
Mm-hmm.
And Edge said, he gets to do it on his own terms now, whether it's a match or if the Rumble was it, who knows? But oh man, I was not expected. I did enjoy the Beth Phoenix tweet.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I have to even share my Rumble spot with him. The year before, she came out the same number that Christian did. So yeah. But seeing them embrace, yes, that's one.
Yeah. No, it was great. Like Edge just looking at Christian come out and the emotion on his face.
Yes.
That was something else. Sounds like it was not a one-off for Christian, that he's gonna go. He's gonna do it. So maybe more Edge Christian.
One more match.
One more match. One more match. And I mean, I hate going back to it, but it really is kind of a big deal. Table Talk. Devon said if you can get all the teams back together, which right now is going to be difficult because Matt and AEW, Bubba, I think, is still helping with Ring of Honor here and there. Maybe
I'm aware of, but
so either way, or maybe Impact. Maybe it's Impact he's helping out with again. I don't know, like some backstage stuff. He said if he can get all the teams together with those three classics to do a TLC or some sort of reunion, it was suggested to do a cinematic TLC match. So they don't have to put their bodies on the line as much.
Of course.
That he would do it. That he would absolutely do it. So, maybe they're going to will that into an existence. Maybe that match is made on Almost His talk show.
That's also where you find out that Matt Hardy is.
We have a store. We have a store, Casimir. You can get your NWO shirt. It is a real thing.
I was going to say, that one already exists.
Yeah. That already exists.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it's at Teespring. Maybe I'll share the link a little bit later on, but
there it is.
Yeah. All right, so that's enough from me. More from you.
That's
time for you to work.
For the Royal Rumble, did you think? I know we talked about. It just seemed like, and maybe this was, I don't know, me expecting too much. I felt like they wasted some people or some slots. Like Dominic Mysterio, I expected after the buildup of his year to have a better. He was literally what feels like he was in and out. Like,
it's true. I think
we talked about
he has a very old school mentality, and I could be completely off base on this specific moment, but if you remember when Edge won that world title for the first time, he held it for 3 weeks, and then it was already taken off.
For sure.
And then kind of he fell on the card a little bit. WWE has a history of pushing a guy or girl to the moon and then kind of taking them back a little bit. And supposedly it's to see how they react.
Yeah, it's to see, yes.
And it makes me wonder if Dominic, who had this incredible year, they're like, okay, well, let's see how the kid handles not being in that spotlight after getting it. Will he, remain professional? Will he kick and scream?
Yeah.
I think he's going to be fine. But I wonder if this is part of that pulling back process.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I just felt like when I was watching, there were a couple of them. We talked about Kane, but I feel like, I guess in my head, there were more than that. Yes. More Ballz shirts. I like shirts with a Z too. I thank you for putting the work in to continue my branding.
It's a horrible idea. More Ballz shirts. Nathan did buy a shirt for me once and it was screwed up.
The logo was only on the back.
Yeah. Because the printer is like, do you want the shirt, the front or the back? And like the way they worded it confused me. So I'm like, I don't know, wherever the printing area is. And so when people ordered the shirt, you didn't know which side it was going to be on.
That's the
radio station shirt.
That's the second worst Russian roulette game ever.
Yeah, I mean the
worst,
deadly.
The worst would be actual Russian roulette. Second would be getting your shirt.
Right. It's less deadly because I mean, if you get like your head stuck in it, you would be like,
yeah. I appreciate the Orange Cassidy shirt.
I'm gonna make that the still photo for the shot. By the way,
good.
Yeah. Alyssa wants to know, why did Seth Rollins come back as Messiah, not Monday Night Messiah? Not anymore. Felt let down. Moment come back. Father gimmick. Don't like the Messiah stuff.
I mean,
I'm curious to see if they wanted to see what reaction he got. Like if he got this. I mean, obviously a lot of it's piped in, but if you saw legit people on the Thunderdome, like, yeah, it's Seth Rollins, like maybe we try to turn him face again, or if they're like, ugh.
Yeah, right. Then he keeps going with the more Messiah type gimmick. Yeah. No, I
Maybe
agree.
they didn't even know. Maybe they didn't even care. They're just like, yeah, just go out. Just go out, look good for a little bit, get off that ring rust. And
that's pretty much, yeah, I would imagine that's pretty much what it was. Like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna lie, his music hit, and I was like, "Who's this?" I was like, "Oh, it's Seth." That's right.
we're obviously streaming this on a Thursday night. We're 24 hours ahead of SmackDown, where we might get a better idea of what's going on with Seth Rollins and
Of course.
character.
Yeah.
To see if he's going to go back to what he was, if that era is over now.
I don't know. And the Royal Rumble could have put it to bed for sure.
Yeah. So I guess we'll find out. But let's move on to 6 things on your mind.
Sure. I don't know what order these are going to come up in, so this is going to be fun for me too.
This will be bam.
Bam. What's Hideo Itami doing here? If you watch the most recent AEW Dynamite, spoilers, the last 5 minutes, Jon Moxley whooping up Kenny Omega. Dude comes out of the crowd covered in black. Boom. Picks Moxley up, go to sleep, reveals that it's Kenta, formerly Hideo Itami from WWE's NXT. Kenta left, went over to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Moxley, I'm never going to get these titles right, but he's a title. It's like the American something title.
Wow.
I only told you, I only do so much show prep.
I do not get paid enough to do full show prep.
I can get Kenta's name correct. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah. Hideo
Kenta is the number one contender. He basically has the Money in the Bank briefcase that he can challenge Jon Moxley's character. It's a briefcase in wrestling. It's going to be equated to Money in the Bank, whether they want it to or not.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So he's the number one contender. Obviously, because of all the pandemic, Moxley had not made it to Japan nearly enough. It was. It absolutely was.
Great match.
On AEW was fantastic. You know, Moxley had not been able to go over to New Japan and defend it. Hideo has been basically harassing him and Renee Young on Twitter about, hey, when are you going to let your husband go?
I mean, who doesn't, you know?
Yeah, right. I mean, I also harassed Renee Young on Twitter. It's fine.
Yeah.
So we did not expect Kenta to show up. Obviously, now there's some sort of agreement with New Japan. How extensive is it? We don't know. Tony Khan mentioned that, hey, you know, any of the New Japan guys that are living in the Orlando area may show up. So, I mean, it's multi-layered because obviously it's related to the Bullet Club angle that they have going on and how the actual Bullet Club is not, at least on Twitter, not too happy with the Elite Omega.
What do you mean the Bullet Club angle? You know, when Omega wore that shirt a couple weeks ago, he's like, don't read into it. Don't look into it, fans. This has nothing to do with it.
No. The Good Brothers just thought it'd be funny. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this happened coincidentally.
Kenta shows up as an actual member of the Bullet Club. And I love the part where he just basically at the end was like, Omega finds Kenta in the parking lot. He's like, hey, man.
This is an internet exclusive thing. Yeah, this was off air.
Yeah, this was off air. And he's like, hey, man, we should talk. And, you know, and Kenta's basically, F you. Yeah. F you. We're not friends. But, hey,
I'm here for Moxley.
Next week, Kenny Omega and Kenta versus Lance Archer and Jon Moxley.
Man, Impact, AEW, New Japan, all working together. And I had a pretty lengthy discussion earlier with a coworker about this was all willed to happen by the Elite.
Yes, it was.
Cody and the Young Bucks, these guys that when they were free from their contracts were going around and not getting paid to appear in Mexico and challenge the Lucha Brothers to, you know, and they were going around all these places and just offering goodwill, offering star power to promoters and promotions that needed it. And while it also helped their brand, and like Impact a couple years ago really tried to bring people in too, but I don't know if the name's too tainted, if it was the wrong management, but AEW was able to make it happen. And now we have a movement going on, and we've talked about this movement a couple times over the weeks. Sure. But we have a movement that if they just keep doing this. They do the slow burn and keep these surprises coming. WWE will have to address this somehow.
No, absolutely. And
they can't rely on all of their legends coming out of retirement.
There's only so many Goldbergs.
Right.
And his contract's up.
Thank God.
Sources. No, Kenta with apparently purple hair is
right
facing Moxley.
So John's talking about if Tony Khan has made a secret purchase or a massive secret investment. He keeps denying it.
He does. Yeah, like he's gone on record with like, I'm not buying it. And as we talked, I remember I posed to you, what would they want it for? And you're like, film library? Like that's
really about it. And they got some star power there.
Yeah,
they got some talent I'm sure they would love to have. The Knockouts division is still better than what AEW is doing in the women's division. And that's not a shot at AEW. That's one thing Impact's been very consistent with in its entire existence, really.
It has, absolutely. No, you're right.
So that's why they would want it, really. But I don't think a sale's there. But you never know. In this industry, if Impact does find itself in trouble, there might be some other wrestling promoters that let's salvage this.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. No, I agree. I mean, and you didn't even mention NWA. Like on that one show.
Yeah, that's true.
There was, former NWA champion. Yes, that's exactly what happened.
I was asked earlier about what Vince must be thinking to see that Hideo Itami guy is now main eventing.
He doesn't remember.
Vince doesn't even know who he is.
No, he doesn't remember that he was employed there. No, not at all.
Yeah. Nope. So next thing on your mind,
Lars Sullivan.
Which is funny. I brought this up to Devon. I'm like, okay, well, the news broke that Lars Sullivan was let go. And he's like, yeah, he was let go in January. I'm like,
but they didn't
know, bro.
Like, and that was what I was going to ask was like, oh yeah, when was the last time WWE did a quiet announcement?
Well, that's the thing.
Maybe the pandemic layoffs, but that wasn't a.
No. This Devon pointed out something that I have not seen anywhere on the internet think about, and it's absolutely true. So what happened supposedly, from what I understand, that Lars Sullivan, the Freak, had another freak out.
Oh.
Much like his anxiety attack that was so publicized over a year ago, he had another one and did not get on his flight. And because he did not get on his flight, he no-showed the event. That no-show got him terminated. With that said, if this happened because of a medical issue, WWE is not going to say, oh, yeah, we fired this guy.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely correct.
And then you start thinking those terms, you're like, oh, yeah, that's why WWE didn't announce that. Okay, yeah.
No, and Lars has said, they were professional. They were great about it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I guess he had other issues as well. There were other things that got him in trouble over the last year. So I was
the controversies, yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure what it was, but I did not know of a freak out. So I get that.
And again, that's just from what I understand. So there could be other variations of the story. Lars is just kind of letting it go and he's just moving on. But he no-showed an event and bad timing. Sounds like he was going to get another push. They really liked his physique and his style and everything. Just
no, I get it.
Not working out this time.
Crossroads, Karrion Kross. News basically breaking that WWE backstage cannot, not the show, the people backstage, just are salivating at getting Karrion Kross on the main roster, but he has to quote get through his NXT run first. First of all, when did anyone have to get through an NXT run before they're brought up to the main roster?
Yeah. Why? Santana Garrett is always invited to the main roster, and we never even see her on NXT.
We didn't even talk about her. We brought it up in the pre-show and forgot about it.
Yeah, our pre-show.
Pre-show. Yeah, basically us going, what are we doing this show?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was super interesting. Whereas Karrion Kross as a character, as a presentation, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff with Scarlett, the TikTok, their entrance is fantastic. Am I the only one that like he's okay in the ring, but he's not like God's gift to wrestling. This is where you can tell like the disconnect between the NXT fans and the backstage like creative of WWE main roster, where you're like, he's okay in the ring, but god damn, that entrance is fire. And he has a hot chick.
Which is funny because I would actually imagine the main roster hates his entrance because of how long it takes. And on pay-per-view, it's fine, but on Monday Night Raw, they're not going to want to go through that every single week, or SmackDown. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But no, you're right. They want to get Scarlett up on that main roster. He's got a look. He's got a great look to him. I think that's a big part of it. Especially, we just talked about Lars Sullivan, a big guy that's built that WWE had plans for. Now they can redirect him to a Karrion Kross or possibly somebody else. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but
it's just funny. Like if you would have told me that, and obviously Karrion Kross has not been called up yet, but if you would have told me like that the next two call-ups would be Damian Priest and possibly Karrion Kross, I would have been like, no, there's no way.
No, supposedly Rhea Ripley's been called up.
What's that?
Supposedly Rhea Ripley's been called up, but they don't know what show to put her on.
I meant male, but yes.
Yeah, which I know what you meant, but I figure we should probably point that out too. Because I want to point out, if you don't know what show to put her on, don't call her up yet.
Yes, accurate.
Yeah, just let her keep wrestling in NXT for a little bit. Just keep that going, and
no, for sure. And who knows?
What do we know?
Yeah, no, I would have guessed Bad Bunny #1. That's right, the #1 merch seller in WWE is Bad Bunny.
Who's Bad Bunny?
He is a hip-hop artist popular with the youth. Specifically,
with the youth.
The youth. We're so young and hip on this show. Specifically like
with that snap talk.
The Latino demographic, which I think is funny. Like, you couldn't find yourself a new Rey Mysterio. Like, none of the other guys worked. So we're like, you know what? Bad Bunny is great. But the fact that he's the #1 merch seller by a wide margin, from what I understand, is a little frightening.
Supposedly he's training in a ring. So
I've heard that as well.
So he's taking it seriously, if that is true. And that's huge. That's huge right there. If we can welcome wow, I just brain farted his name. Arrow.
Oh, Stephen Amell.
Thank you. Like I had it in my head and then it went away. If we can welcome Stephen Amell in with open arms and take him seriously, and no offense, he was on a show on a crap ass network.
What? How dare you insult the CW?
Right.
I can't even defend it with a straight face.
And then we have a Grammy Award winning musician who's bringing in a whole bunch of eyes to this product, apparently. We should probably give him the benefit of the doubt that, you know what? Okay, we could put up with this.
Yeah. No, I'm the fact that he's #1 merch. How long? We need to make a phone call. How long until we get the official Bad Bunny Rob Schamberger painting?
That is a good question. Yeah.
#1 seller right there.
Wow. This guy, he equates Bad Bunny to you. A waste of data required to save digital music. Is further proof the music industry has lost its damn mind.
I'll be honest. I've never heard of. If I have heard one, I didn't know about it.
Well, you heard Booker T.
No, I didn't, because I fast forwarded. Global.
I think it's funny that he wears like his GI Bro outfit for the Booker T song, but that's
and what I remembered is he hates the GI Bro gimmick, but he'll do it for Bad Bunny because that's money right there.
He is one of the most popular artists worldwide, so you know it's a good gift for WWE. Do I get it? No. And even if I was younger, I wouldn't get it because I'm a rocker.
And he does a better splash than Snoop Dogg does.
This is true. So again, it's not my thing. It's not typically what your wrestling audience is known for enjoying. Yeah. But judging by the amount of eyes and interest he's already generated in just 2 appearances, WWE, you did well in this one.
Yeah, right. He's no Shaquille O'Neal, but
Right, of course. I mean, he's not.
no, he's no Shaq.
And if he's working out, if he's actually trying to understand how the ring psychology works, cool. That's a good gift for WWE. Then
Yeah, I mean,
seriously,
we're gonna call it right now. It's Bad Bunny and Damian Priest against someone else. Oh, probably the Miz and Morrison.
Miz and Morrison
at WrestleMania.
Most likely, or at the very least at Elimination Chamber or whatever's coming up next. Yeah. John Wilson, what dude uses the name Bunny? Anything? Bugs Bunny is a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a guy. There was a rabbit that married Jessica Rabbit. I mean, is that
Roger Rabbit?
Roger Rabbit.
We're reaching at that point.
They're all cartoons. I realize this. Yeah,
that's also true.
I mean, you can tell it's getting late for me because I'm forgetting Adam Rose. Adam Rose had his robots, had the bunny.
Had the bunny. Yeah.
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 It may not be the most masculine animal, but
at least it's a bad bunny. It's not like good bunny.
Yeah, and bunnies have a lot of sex.
True.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now he's taking shots at me for some reason. I don't understand. Mo Bunny. See, crap. I'm like, well, yeah. If anything, I'd be Mo Rabbit over Mo Bunny.
Yeah, and then you got Mo Bunny, Mo Problems. And
yeah. Nobody wants to buy that shirt. We need more Ballz shirts. Yeah, so I don't know. I know a lot of people are upset by it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. It's pro wrestling. You know it's not going to last forever, so.
True. No, that's accurate. Numbers don't lie. But why?
Hips don't lie either.
Hips, I would much rather be talking about hips right now, but we're talking about numbers. AEW Beach Break cracked the number 3 show on cable with like 840 some thousand viewers.
Okay.
NXT lost 100,000 viewers, so around 7,400.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Like, is there to me, watching it, this was Edge coming to NXT, and they didn't hide that fact. They promoted Edge showing up. So what, like, in your mind, is there something you can immediately think of where, yeah, AEW is good. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the show. Kenta showing up was awesome.
Right.
Some really good moments. None of that was really pre-promoted. We didn't know Kenta was coming.
Right.
How does a show that promotes Edge is coming to NXT lose by such a wide margin to AEW, where AEW was 3, NXT was 51?
I haven't looked at the breakdown. Bunny Ballz. I haven't looked at the breakdown of ratings. I don't know if what you looked at was possibly segment or quarter hour stuff. So Edge's segment might have done well, but not enough to salvage the rest of the show.
Carry the show. No, that makes sense.
Sure. And NXT was a solid show.
It was. What I saw did not have quarter breakdowns. It was just overall numbers.
Mm-hmm. So NXT was very in-ring driven, as most weeks are, but this week especially so. And you didn't know a lot of the drama coming in. As much as so many of wrestling fans are wrestling purists, and they love their in-ring stuff.
Yeah.
You need to bring in a casual audience, and they like the drama. They like the soap opera aspect. And AEW promoted that they're going to have the wedding and whatnot this week. It's like AEW is very good about telling you, here's the matches to expect on the show.
Yeah.
And they had a wedding angle, which, as we know, always has some sort of twist to it.
Of course.
So I wonder if that was just a part of it. And then the Edge appearing on NXT thing really only got a day of promotion. I don't think they even mentioned it on Raw, did they?
You're right. I don't know. I just know I saw it before the show, at least a day or so before Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's a part of it that Edge is teasing going after NXT, which for a lot of us sounds cool again. Mm-hmm. You know, with Charlotte challenging Rhea was kind of like, oh my God, NXT is getting that love. But I really don't think Edge is going to challenge, Finn Balor right now, or possibly Pete Dunne. You know, Edge versus Pete Dunne is probably not the match that people want to see Edge come back to, you know.
Well,
While it would be a great match.
It would. And like their interactions were great because Edge is cutting this promo and Pete Dunne just goes, he looks at he's like, I would have totally shrugged 10 years ago. And I was like, would have totally.
But Edge is definitely cutting the old man father promo now.
Yes.
Every single week about appreciating things. And I don't know if that fits in with NXT really. And I think most people don't expect him to cash in on NXT. It's cool that he shows up, but I didn't expect him to get into any confrontation or anything. So, maybe people just kind of moved on.
To me, storyline wise, I think that makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
You have him cash in on Balor to where then you don't have this guy comes in and takes the spot of some storyline. He's cashing in on Balor on NXT.
Right.
Like,
if you're going that route, I do like that Edge at least is selling it as a character of, hey, you have a belt. I never won that.
I've never had that. Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Casimir here giving us an update saying that Instagram and Facebook was promoting it Tuesday, but not, and Wednesday, but not on Monday. So maybe had they announced that on Raw, that could have gotten a few more views over.
Most likely.
But I also think, NXT is still the training ground for WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Third brand, but it's still internally not to the same level as a Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, that's the breakdown. That's the hierarchy. AEW has been very good at dropping these surprises lately.
Oh, yeah.
So I think people are starting to get trained. We're going to go over to watch Dynamite and see what craziness they got going on.
Let's be honest. Like, I joked about Shaquille O'Neal earlier.
Mm.
They announced Shaquille O'Neal for a match, not at a pay-per-view, on an episode on a random Wednesday night. Right. I think it's like early March. But it's Shaquille O'Neal wrestling. Like, who expected that?
Yeah. They've been good with the cross promotion and, of course, cross promotion with wrestling promotions. So maybe that's finally starting to pick up a little for AEW, that they know they're kind of the centerpiece. They are the center of this, pro wrestling connected universe now.
Yes.
The PWCU.
I was going to say
or we'll just shorten it down to PU.
P.
So AEW is the center of PU. And people now know that Impact stars will go in, and NWA stars will go in, and NJPW, all into the PU.
Into the PU.
Yeah. And John brings up a good point here. The NXT can't get a Royal Rumble contestant, but the Rumble winner is going to challenge for their belt. Even if we do give you Damian Priest, that's still only one.
Still one. No, I got it.
Yeah. So, that's that there. But the last thing we got here.
Yeah. I finally watched WandaVision. I binged it, I think, before the Royal Rumble.
And then were you disappointed by the Royal Rumble? Because you're like, man, they do not put as much thought into this as the Marvel show did.
No, they did. Yeah.
Were you bored by the first 3 episodes like so much of the internet?
I wasn't bored. I was the first episode, I was like, what am I watching? And then the second one, I was like, all right. This is obviously Bewitched. I was like, but then it was like, I'm going to figure out which sitcom each episode is. And first one was like Dick Van Dyke Show. Second was Bewitched. Third was Brady Bunch.
And we have more coming, by the way. We're not done with the sitcoms yet.
No. I can't wait till we get to a Full House one. It's going to be awesome.
There's a Modern Family one.
Is there really?
Yeah, there's a Modern Family. And the one that we have not seen a single clip for, which I'm so excited for, there's an Office one.
Really?
Yep.
See, I would
Kevin Feige mentioned it in an interview months ago, but we have not seen any footage from it to our knowledge.
Okay. Yeah. See, I would have assumed they would have all been old school sitcoms. Like I wouldn't have expected The Office.
No, I think this is just Wanda's happy place.
Probably.
And it shows that she liked for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Or maybe her brother liked or Vision liked.
That's true. No, the meta thing about they're sitting there and the line in episode 4 was like, did the universe make a sitcom out of 2 Avengers? It's like, yeah, that actually is a thing. Yes.
Yeah.
But no, I think number 4 kind of brought it all together. We really start seeing everything together, but it's crazy. and I can't not wait to watch episode 5.
Yeah, which by the time a lot of people watch this show on demand or listen to it via podcast, episode's already out. So we'll see what the spoof was. What I mean, we know we got some sort of like trick-or-treating thing going on with the old Vision and Scarlet Witch outfits.
Yep. That's awesome. The nods to everything have been fantastic.
Really have. And I do want to point out before we wrap this up, the people bitching and moaning about WandaVision not being funny in the first couple episodes. People don't understand they kept the humor authentic to the era and to the show. So that first episode was filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah.
Literally. They didn't just say it. They filmed in front of an audience, and they brought in Dick Van Dyke or whatever. They brought him in to make sure that the mannerisms and the jokes were authentic to the era.
Exactly. Yep.
So if you didn't find it funny, well, that's not Marvel's fault. They were doing an homage to all these old ones. So I thought it was great.
Yeah.
You know, it was cheesy, but that's what
it was. Yeah. No, that's what it was.
Yeah. So I thought it was masterful. I think Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany are doing an outstanding job. Even though this could be Vision's last run on our screens for all we know. At least we got more Paul Bettany, and dude is amazing. So
it's been fantastic. Yeah.
So I love that. I'm raising my hand, Casimir. I'll be watching Godzilla and Kong.
I have not watched the other ones leading up to it, but yes.
I don't think you need to. I don't think
you need to either.
A world building you need there. Laura loves WandaVision as well.
That's been great.
So thank you for finally doing so. It'd be great if you watched Glow, but I know I can't expect that much from you.
So many more episodes of Glow.
Oh no, how horrible. Oh no. Your comments very much welcome. And yeah, we are wrestling audio, but we do like to at least drop a few minutes of talk of something else in pop culture. So if there is something you want to bring up on a future show, let us know. You can always hit us up at Wrestling Audio on all the socials. All right, what's this comment here? It'd be a lot easier if he just guest hosted instead of typing all of these comments. Yeah. Then Ballz could get the finger on video. I mean, I got you there, bud. I mean,
so much on my show.
I feel like Stone Cold when I do this. What?
That's the only way you feel like Stone Cold.
Like they kind of say, like if you make a face, like your parents always tell you, if you make a face, that your face will get stuck like that. Oh, don't make an ugly face; you get stuck. I kind of want my fingers to get stuck like this, so I'm just gonna hold this for a while.
I'm gonna wait until you get arthritis. Now that you're 40, your fingers get stuck like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my middle finger to press and broadcast. No. It's tough not having opposable thumbs to work with.